My name is Bryant Currie. I'm currently Associate Professor of Culinary Arts at ACC. My work environment when I'm at school, when I'm teaching, grading papers, setting up lesson plans, researching recipes, getting together my lectures for the class. So basically that's my day when school is in. When school's not in, I'm just sitting home watching TV. So
It's cool. You used to work here, right?
Yes.
For the Hayes
Before I became full-time at ACC, I was the district executive chef for Hayes CISD, which means I was responsible for all the food produced in the cafeterias.
Oh, so like the food that I eat?
The food that you eat, absolutely.
Okay.
That's what I did for 8 years. I started that job in 2011 and left in 2019. So I spent about 8 years at Hayes CISD as a district executive chef. So created a lot of different new things. Your paninis here was a creation I brought here.
I love the panini, honestly. Let's see. What do you love most about culinary?
What I love about the culinary industry and the field is it allows me to express my creativity through food. It allows me to produce foods that people are going to enjoy, people are going to like, and I get the satisfaction that I've brightened somebody's day through food, or I've enlightened them through food, I've educated them through food. So that's what I like about culinary. It gives me that expression of my artistic ability through food. I'm not artistic any other way. I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't draw. So I don't have any other artistic ability other than my ability to produce food and produce good food and make it look good and make it taste good.
For real, because food is art too. It's like
food is art.
That's something I didn't even realize.
Food is absolutely art.
I used to watch like Ratatouille and now I watch and I realize it's because food is art.
Food is art.
Food is art.
Actually, that's why they call it the culinary arts.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is an art. It's not only an art in the finished product, but it's an art in the process. And so producing and the techniques to produce that is also an art. The chopping and the dicing and the preparing and getting ready, all of that is an art. Even just a simple barbecue. If I want to go out and smoke a brisket, that's an art.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? People spend years dedicated to their art. There are some people out there who do brisket competitions, cooking competitions. They spend years practicing producing one item. That's all, whether it be ribs or brisket or whatever the case may be. But for the most part in our industry, it's about producing food for the masses and for people, So yes, definitely an art.
Can you tell me something about your early life? Is there anything that you think contributed to where you are now?
Oh, absolutely. And I think it started when I tell the story to everybody. I was about 12 years old, and I was watching TV, and I can't remember her name, but she was a TV chef, and I was so intrigued by that. I told my mom, I said, I want to go in the kitchen, I want to cook something. So I was wanting to cook, so I said, I don't know, let me make homemade corn dogs. And for some reason, that stuck in my head, I wanted to make a homemade corn dog. So I got her cookbook, I found a recipe for it, and the first recipe I made, it was terrible. It didn't work, it fell apart, and now I'm 12 years old, and I was so frustrated that I could not make a good corn dog. So guess what I did? I tried it again. I said, you know what? Mama, I need some more ingredients. Go get some cornmeal. Go get some milk.
I probably would have got discouraged.
Most people would have got discouraged.
Corn dogs.
Right. Most people would have got discouraged and quit. No, it made me even more resident to get it done. It made me more encouraged. I said, you know what? I got to get this done. So I got in the kitchen, and it was okay this time. It was all right.
It was all right. It was better.
But it wasn't showstopper. So I kept doing it. I kept doing it. I kept doing it. I kept making it, and then I perfected my corn dog. I got into high school, my ninth grade year, 10th grade year, I took a class called Home Economics in high school. And it was called Home Economics at that time. It's not called Home Economics now. And my teacher was named Fonda Wren, Mrs. Wren. It's the only teacher I remember in my high school. She was my home ec teacher. And I had home ec with her for 3 years. And she encouraged me to pursue my dream of, not even my dream, because it wasn't my dream.
Yeah.
It was my talent. And she encouraged me to pursue my talent rather than my dream, because my dream was to be a doctor. My dream was to study sickle cell anemia. That was my dream. I had went to medical school before I went to culinary school for 3 years. So I was at the University of Kansas taking medical technology. I spent 3 years on campus, finished the program, had 1 year of clinicals, was accepted at Wichita State University Medical School, and decided I wanted to be a chef. And the one person I talked to about that was my home ec teacher. And she encouraged me, she says, if you're not happy about going to medical school, you should think about culinary school. And that's what I did. And it was because of her that I am here today.
You think if it weren't for her, you'd be...
If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here.
Probably be a doctor or something?
No, I'd probably be miserable sitting in somebody's lab doing testing. That's probably where I would have been.
That's so cool. What do you think is a common misconception that people have about culinary? Like, is there anything...
That it's easy, that it's glamorous, that you're going to get on TV.
Yeah.
You know, that you're going to make millions of dollars like Bobby Flay. That's a huge misconception. It's not glamorous. It's not easy. You have to have a passion for it. And the reason you have to have a passion for it, because there's going to be days you're going to work hard. You're going to work
patience, right?
It takes patience.
Yeah.
But there are going to be days where you're going to work 12-hour days. You're going to be on your feet 12 hours. You're going to be in a hot kitchen, a kitchen that's 300 degrees. You know, you're going to have customers yelling and screaming at you. There are going to be days that you don't like it, but you have to have a passion for what you do. So I think the misconception is a lot of people believe that it's glamorous. It can be. Don't get me wrong.
There's some days. Yeah.
It can be. It can be glamorous. You could get on TV. You could become a millionaire.
Yeah.
You could. You know, just like I could, run a marathon. Not likely.
Yeah, I mean, you talking about a marathon? Like,
It's not likely. But I could, But I think if you have the passion for the food and passion for service, you won't have any misconceptions. You will be A-okay with whatever comes your way.
Like, you'll just do it.
Right, because you're going to have a passion for the service. You're going to have a passion for food. You're going to have a passion to see people eating your food and like, wow, I like this. Or, oh, I hate this. And what you do is you go back into the kitchen and you create and you make it better. Yeah. You try again until you get the satisfaction of producing something that you think is good. So
it's not glamorous kind of kitchen, like everyone says?
It's not glamorous. It's not.
All right. What is something that you think people will get out of being in culinary that probably wouldn't get anywhere else? Like maybe in any other art environment?
Well, like I said, they get the satisfaction of producing food that somebody enjoys.
Yeah. You
get the opportunity to brighten somebody's day. And it's not necessarily feeding somebody so they can sustain their lives. That's not necessarily what we do. You know what I mean? Yeah. We produce food to brighten your day.
Enjoy.
Yeah, that you enjoy. Yeah, like when you go out, you take your girlfriend out, and you got a nice little dinner. It's Valentine's Day. You want to spend $300-400 on a meal. You want that to be the best experience of your lifetime. Right. Or you getting engaged. You want to have an engagement dinner at a local restaurant. You know what I mean? In the kitchen, we don't know that this is your special day. We have to make it right every time. Every single time. But the enjoyment that you get, wow, this is great. This is memorable. We always can remember that meal, that one special meal. That wow, that was a good meal. So, absolutely.
I love food. see. What do you think is the hardest thing to learn in culinary? Like, hardest concept for a new student that's going through? What do you think is the biggest challenge they're probably not learning?
Yeah, I think there aren't many challenges if you're passionate. If you're passionate about something, there's going to be challenges, but you're going to see them as not a challenge. You're going to see them as an opportunity.
Yeah.
So I don't think that there's many challenges if you're passionate. If you're not passionate and you're in it for the wrong reason, you're going to have a billion challenges sitting in front of you. You're going to have a challenge with the knife skills. You're going to have a challenge with the customer service. You're going to have a challenge with plating. You're going to have many challenges because you're not passionate. You're just doing it maybe because you want to check, or I got to pay some bills. So yeah, every day is going to be challenging. But if you're passionate and you truly want to be the best that you can be, you're not going to have challenges. You're going to have opportunities. Here's an opportunity for me to learn knife skills. Here's an opportunity for me to learn plating. Wow, here's an opportunity for me to get some customer service skills. Yeah. These opportunities, because if I'm passionate, I want to be the best that I can be. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. The only time you meet challenges is you do something. If somebody said, Chef Currie, I need you to go out there and run 26 miles today. I'm gonna have some challenges. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's not what I want to do. Okay? But if you tell me I have to go do it, okay. I'm having a challenge putting my tennis shoes on. I'm gonna have a challenge with that first 100 feet. I'm gonna have a challenge. I'm gonna have a challenge. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm passionate about running, if I'm passionate about the marathon, they're not challenges. These are opportunities. This is an opportunity for me to do 10 miles. This is an opportunity for me to do 20. Same thing in the kitchen. This is opportunities for you to be the best that you can be because you're passionate and you want to be the best. Mm-hmm.
So you said customer service is something you have to learn too? Mm-hmm. Like when you go out and serve the food to them? Well,
customer service, meaning in our industry, some restaurants, the chefs are visible to the customer. Mm-hmm. The chefs interact with the customer. One thing about chefs is if you're in the kitchen, it's always good for you to come out and meet and greet your customers.
Yeah.
Get feedback from them.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's what I mean by customer service. Customer service also can be you don't ever see, like maybe the customer's out there says, hey, tells the waiter, I want, no cheese on my, I want no cheese in my macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it comes to the kitchen, it's a matter of customer service. What can that chef do to satisfy that customer? They may not ever meet, they may not ever talk, but the customer service comes from requests from customers and the chef fulfilling that request. And that's customer service. But customer service is also face-to-face customer service.
Yeah.
When the chef comes out there and greets the table, or there are some restaurants where you order directly from the chef. There are some Japanese restaurants, you go to a sushi restaurant, you're sitting right in front of the sushi chef. There's a customer service interaction.
So, do you have to talk to customers? I
talk to customers all the time. I mean, when I was here at Hayes, I would talk to you guys.
Yeah, you would.
I would go out. I would go in the cafeteria and say, "How's everything?"
Yeah.
Now that could be a lightning piece of dynamite because not all students like the food that they eat. Because it's highly governed here, but I want to interact with the students. I want to see what it is that they like, what it is that they don't like. What can I make changes on? So absolutely interact.
Cool. Let's see. So I want to talk about. You said you went to Lyon, France.
Lyon, yeah. Uh-huh.
Lyon, however you say Lyon, France.
Lyon.
Lyon.
You don't speak French?
Nah. What do you think about French? I'm trying to learn Spanish. I don't even. I'm Mexican too.
He's Mexican, he's trying to learn Spanish.
So you went to Lyon, France, and you met, I don't even know how to say this.
Paul Bocuse.
Paul Bocuse.
I worked for Paul Bocuse. I didn't meet him. I worked with him. Did an internship in Lyon at restaurant Paul Bocuse, and I did a rotation in his kitchen. Paul Bocuse at the time had a 3-star Michelin restaurant. I don't know if you're familiar with 3-star Michelin. Michelin is the grading system in Europe for restaurants, and there's only 3 stars. You get 1 star, 2 star, 3 star.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 1% of restaurants get 3 stars. Okay, maybe 10% get 2 stars. maybe 15-20% get 1 star. 70% of the restaurants don't get no stars.
Yeah, no stars. Yeah.
So when you talk about a Michelin star, I believe there's only maybe a couple of dozen 3-star Michelin restaurants in the United States alone. Maybe a couple of dozen. There aren't many in the United States. It is the pinnacle of culinary cuisine when you reach 3-star. As a chef in a 3-star restaurant, you are the top of the top. You are the top dog. You are in the professional leagues. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 3-star restaurants are that's where every chef wants to go.
Yeah.
So by me having been able to go to a 3-star Michelin restaurant in France, working with probably the most recognizable chef in the world at the time, which was Paul Bocuse. You mentioned Ratatouille. You know that chef in Ratatouille was
talking about the dead chef, right? The ghost.
yes.
Yeah.
He was mimicked after Paul Bocuse.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's who they were mimicking. They were mimicking Paul Bocuse.
Damn.
Okay, remember when in Ratatouille when he lost his Michelin star?
Yeah.
That's Paul Bocuse, because Paul Bocuse lost one of his Michelin stars.
Really?
Not when I was there.
It
wasn't because of me.
Me too.
So I got a chance to go in Lyon and cook, and I also did a rotation in France. I cooked at some other restaurants. I went to Bougainville and cooked in Bougainville, and cooked in a Bourgogne region of Cheshire-Montrachet. So it was a great opportunity for me. And I did that coming out of culinary school.
What is your favorite dish to cook? Like, what's
The next one.
fun to cook? What is it?
The next one.
The next one.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
No, you said what's my favorite dish to cook?
Oh,
my next dish.
You don't have like one particular dish?
I don't have one particular dish my next dish, because my philosophy is everything I cook is different. I never cook the same thing twice. I will always make some type of adjustment to whatever I make. It doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter. Everything I do is different. So when people ask me what's my favorite, I tell them my next dish, the next thing I do, will be my favorite.
After that,
I got a new favorite. After that, there are some things that I'm really good at, that I like doing. I like barbecuing. I like smoking meats. You know, I like that. I'm getting into making my own beef jerky. I've gotten into making my own sausages.
Yeah.
So I'm doing some smoked briskets. I love that. Just bought a new smoker at home. So I like to do a lot of different things, and I like to challenge myself. Even at this point, in this stage in my life, I challenge myself to produce different things.
Yeah. So what's your experience being a chef at the Hayes District?
It was great. I had a great time. It was a learning experience, because that was my first time working in K through 12. It was my first time working for school systems and learning. There's a lot of legal stuff as a chef you have to go through when working K through 12, because there's a lot of regulations when it comes to nutrition. A lot of regulations. Yeah, you got to keep the saturated fat low. You got to always use whole grains. You know, you can't have a lot of sodium, so you got to cut out the sodium. And so that's what gets students teed off, is because you eat something, you go, oh, this is bland, this don't taste well. It's because the government says you can't have so much sodium. You know what I mean? And so it was a learning experience for me, because before coming here, I cooked the way I wanted to cook. Before I came to the school district, I was working for country clubs in McKinney, Texas, as an executive chef for country clubs. And in country clubs, you got to have the best of the best. You got to cook the best food. They're not trying to hear lower saturated fat, lower sodium, the whole grain. They're not trying to hear all that. But it was great. I loved it. I loved cooking for the students, and I loved creating things that they liked. You know, like for instance, the roving chef, I don't know, or the flaming grill. I don't know if they're still doing it, but I would take the grill out to the back here in Lehman and cook up in the grill for students, and they would eat outside.
The last question I have for you: why should a high school student think about joining culinary? Thinking about getting into cooking?
And what I tell them is, if you have a passion for cooking and you love doing it, and it's something that you have a passion for, absolutely get into it. Because if you have a passion for it and you love doing it, even though you may not be good at it, your passion will make you an expert. Because if you get the correct education and the correct knowledge, and you go at a specific route, you're going to be good. I liken it to sports. You play sports?
I used to run cross country and
Oh, see, cross country. In high school, as a cross country runner, are you as good as somebody who's in the Olympics doing cross country?
No.
No. Could you be?
Yes.
Absolutely. How?
By
Practice.
Practice.
And you learn. You get a coach.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody's coaching you to be the best cross country. They're teaching you how to get better. They're teaching you things you didn't learn in high school. So when you get to college and you're getting better and you're getting better, and then you go to the big leagues, you go to the Olympics. You know, you run the Olympics cross country. But you never saw yourself in the Olympics as a high school cross country runner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you got good at it because you had a passion for it. You loved doing it. Same thing in culinary. If you like doing it, you're not going to mind getting up early. You're not going to mind standing on your feet 10 hours a day. You're not going to mind coming home dirty and smelling like charcoal. You're not going to mind that because you know you want to be the best. That's why. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't even matter. I think the passion is what's going to carry. If you're passionate about it, absolutely do it. Do what you're passionate about because you'll never work a day in your life. If you do what you're passionate about, you'll never work. Right? And if you go to a restaurant, it's probably rare that you'll find somebody in the kitchen who's not passionate about what they do.
Yeah.
But if you happen to come across that chef who is not passionate about what they do, they will show it to you on their plate.
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
You understand what I'm saying? You will see it. You'll taste it. You'll say, this chef is not passionate about what they do. But when you go to that fancy restaurant with your date and you spend a couple $100 and they bring that food out to you and the money is not even crossing your mind, you just have the greatest experience. You know you have seen passion on a plate.
Did you want to go through some of the fun questions real quick?
That's fine. It's up to you, man.
Great, man.
It's your interview.
All right. What is your favorite color, sir?
Blue.
Blue? Why you like blue?
I don't know. It's probably because blue is not in food. There is no blue food. I don't know. Maybe that's
Blue
why.
is just rare. See, what is your favorite Disney movie and why?
Do I ever watch Disney?
I don't even know what mine is. I think mine's The Nightmare Before Christmas. I used to watch that like on repeat.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if, I don't know. I don't have a favorite Disney movie. I like all the Disney movies.
You have a
especially as
favorite movie?
Huh?
You have a favorite movie? Like just movie in general?
Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood. Ice Cube in it.
Ice Cube, yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen the full.
You've never seen Boys in the Hood?
I have seen the scene, like, you know,
Mhm.
pew pew.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite. For some reason, that movie stood out in my life was Boys in the Hood.
It was just on one day in the living room. And I was just like, I saw that scene. I was like, oh my god, it's happening. Let's see. What is your all-time favorite music artist?
Luther Vandross.
Luther Vandross?
You know who that is?
Let me see if I can.
You don't know who Luther Vandross is?
Luther? Oh, my Spotify won't work right now. Yeah. What is he, like a rock artist or
No, he's R&B,
like L.U.
balladeer.
Luther Vandross.
That's it. That's Luther. He's dead now.
Oh, no.